Okay, let's jump straight into this explainer. Through some high-quality photos and animated breakdowns today, we're going to unpack how a simple, structured morning routine can completely optimize your metabolic tone for the entire day. Look, if you've been struggling with that frustrating skinny fat physique, where, you aren't heavily overweight, but you just lack muscle tone and hold on to stubborn fat, the secret isn't just in what you eat for dinner. It literally starts the exact second you open your eyes.
16. That number right there, that represents the next 16 hours of your day. It's crazy to think about, but the chaotic first 40 minutes of your morning, the time spent hitting snooze and doom scrolling, actually dictates your hunger and energy levels for those next 16 hours. We so often think of metabolism purely in terms of lunchtime calories or gym sessions, but honestly, your body's metabolic tone is fundamentally decided before you even step foot out of your bedroom.
Now, instead of punishing 4 a.m. workouts or those extreme, miserable diets, we're going to use a brilliant little concept called addition stacking. It's a sustainable system where you just add simple, healthy actions to create momentum. Think of it like this. By focusing purely on what we're adding, we naturally crowd out the bad habits, and we do it without triggering the sheer exhaustion or extreme restriction that makes, well, pretty much most routines fail right out of the gate.
But here's the catch. This momentum actually starts building the night before. By simply setting out a few specific items before your head hits the pillow, you make your body far more responsive to the choices that follow. It's so simple. You want your phone in another room and a dedicated alarm clock by your bed. Set out a glass of water, your walking shoes, and just have a simple protein source ready to go in the fridge. Nailing the first hour of your day absolutely requires this foundational prep.
So these 5 physical actions form our optimal morning system, and they are designed specifically to help a skinny fat body burn fat and preserve muscle, all without triggering a nasty metabolic stress response. Here's the whole shebang. First, no phone. Second, drink water. Third, get light. Fourth, move your body. And fifth, eat protein. It's a simple, really elegant sequence. Let's break down exactly why each of these steps is so powerfully effective.
Step 1 happens the exact millisecond you wake up. You absolutely must protect your brain's attention, which functions just like a fully charged battery. Just sit up, take a deep breath, and let your brain wake up naturally. I know, this is the hardest part for most of us, but it is absolutely non-negotiable if you want to actually control your day.
Just think about this contrast for a second. On one hand, you can wake up naturally to conserve your mental energy. On the other, you give immediate control to the internet, instantly draining your attention. Handing over your precious first waking moments to emails, news, and social media, it leaves you completely overstimulated. You end up spending all your vital mental energy before the day even truly begins. Protect that battery.
Moving on to step 2, you need to drink a large glass of plain water. Why? Because your body is deeply dehydrated after 7 or 8 hours of sleep. This lack of water is actually the primary reason so many of us feel incredibly sluggish in the morning. Rehydrating is literally the most effective way to restore your system and get your internal environment moving again. And here is exactly why reaching for that coffee first thing is a massive mistake. Drinking coffee while you're dehydrated is exactly like trying to drive a car with an empty gas tank. You're just grinding the gears. Water is what actually protects your dopamine and rehydrates your sluggish cells. It restores fluid balance and gives you the internal resources you need to tackle the rest of your morning. Trust me, the coffee can wait a bit.
Okay, step 3 is all about triggering your clock. You got to get light into your eyes by stepping outside or standing on a balcony as soon as humanly possible. Don't worry, you don't have to go on a 5-mile hike. Just walk to the mailbox or even just open a bright window. The goal here is getting direct, unfiltered morning sunlight.
When this crucial morning sunlight hits your eyes, it triggers your internal circadian clock. It signals your body to adjust its hormones and naturally raise your alertness. It's way more than just waking up. It's a profound biological signal that increases your baseline energy for the entire rest of the day. You are quite literally resetting your biological clock with light.
Once you've got that light exposure, step 4 requires you to create what we call gentle momentum. You need to move before you sit down for work or start your commute. This could be a short walk or just a few bodyweight squats in your living room to gently wake up your system. You're creating physical momentum, but without requiring a massive caloric burn or physical exhaustion. Now, as our animations here highlight, high-intensity cardio creates a volatile spike in both hunger and recovery demand. And that is a major problem for a skinny fat physique. Why? Because that metabolic stress leads directly to overeating later in the day. This is exactly why low-intensity walking provides such a distinct advantage. It's totally sustainable over months, and this consistent, gentle movement aggregates into massive results without triggering that fat-storing stress response.
All right, step 5 addresses your first meal. This must focus on high-quality protein to provide the raw materials required for muscle retention. As you're working on transforming your body, you are actively trying to lose fat while keeping or even building muscle. You just cannot do that without giving your body the proper building blocks early in the day.
Standard breakfast foods act just like dessert, honestly. Things like cereal and pastries cause an immediate, rapid energy spike followed by an inevitable crash that leaves you absolutely starving a couple of hours later. On the flip side, high-quality protein, like whole eggs or cottage cheese, ensures your body has the exact building blocks it needs to maintain muscle while shedding fat. This whole shift toward addition, adding protein, adding water, adding light, is just so much more sustainable than strict restriction.
So the absolutely crucial point here is that completing that very first action naturally leads right into the next. These 5 steps function exactly like a row of dominoes. It sets off a cascade of healthy decisions that last the entire day. By adding water, sunlight, and protein, you naturally push out the bad habits simply by starting that chain reaction.
Now, if you repeat this momentum-building routine consistently for 90 days, your body's going to begin a process called recomposition. This is the ultimate goal right here. Recomposition is where you lose fat and gain muscle simultaneously. It's definitely not an overnight fix, but it's a very achievable reality if you commit to setting up your environment for success every single morning.
During this 90-day period, the scale might not move quickly at all. But think of it this way. Imagine a large, fluffy pillow representing fat, and the small, really dense brick representing muscle. They can weigh the exact same amount. Because muscle is significantly denser than fat, your overall body weight might remain completely unchanged, even while you are looking completely different in the mirror.
So, instead of stressing out over your weight, look for a shrinking waistline and better-fitting clothes. That is your undeniable proof that your physical shape is transforming. These are the real signs of true recomposition. When your clothes fit significantly better, and your overall physical shape transforms, you'll know for sure the momentum is working, regardless of what that stubborn number on the scale says.
At the end of the day, a transformed physique isn't built in one massive, grueling workout. It's built by hundreds of small, manageable decisions stacked on top of each other. Tomorrow morning is your first opportunity to start this new momentum. So here's my final question for you. Will you set up your dominoes tonight? Put that phone across the room, set out that glass of water, and prepare to finally take back control of your morning.